Ian's messing around in the studio.
You filming?
Yeah.
What? Better go.
Go do some work.
I will.
Hi there, welcome to today's video where I'm going to be making some autumn leaves. I felt really inspired by the end of the season with all the beautiful colours, and you know, I just wanted to kind of capture that as best I could with some polymer clay. It's been a bit of an interesting week this week because I've had some pretty significant nerve pain going on across my scalp, so I've not been able to do as much work as I'd wanted to, which was a bit unfortunate really. So yeah, I've just been sort of dipping in and out of the studio as and when I've been able to, really, for kind of short bursts. It's been a while, admittedly, since I've worked with KATO clay. It's a really nice clay, I have to say, but I find it's more suited to jewellery making than model making because it's really quite a kind of stiff clay, which is really difficult, I've found, for, you know, making models of people, and my hands kind of aren't the strongest really. So yeah, I try to kind of reserve it for kind of jewellery making, etc. I have a deep respect, however, for KATO clay because it's one of the few vegan clays on the market. That and Cernit clay, and you know, I'm sure there's a few others, but the mainstream ones, you know, Fimo and Sculpey, they're not vegan, so yeah, it just makes me feel a bit sad really. Can you hear that truck? There's actual roadworks going on outside my studio today, as if I'm not unlucky with traffic noise as it is. I did put together a petition a year or two ago for Fimo, asking them to sort of reconsider their position on it. But the reason I've not sort of continued with trying to promote it is that I'm in kind of an awkward position really, because I was vegetarian at the time and going on to be vegan, but then I became ill with a condition called FND, or Functional Neurological Disorder, and it's a tricky illness. Everybody has different experiences of it, but certainly for me, the easiest way to explain it is that my brain thinks I'm intolerant to most foods, and yeah, I do mean most foods. So I have a very, very restricted diet, which I'll probably go into actually in perhaps a day in the life video at some point. But it's meant that because my diet is so limited that I've had to introduce chicken and fish, which, you know, has been really difficult, and it's certainly not what I wanted to do. But I was in a position where I just was getting very limited nutrition, so yeah, it just felt, you know, like the only kind of thing I could do really. Sorry, had to change the battery there. But I'm hoping at some point that, you know, I'm able to eat a more varied diet and can consider at least kind of reducing meat. But yeah, at the moment it's kind of what I'm having to do really. Basically, the symptoms that I get if I eat something that my brain doesn't like is nerve pain. Basically, the nerve pain that I've had is a result of trying to reintroduce some white potato over the last week, and obviously it's a no-no. So yeah, I get really bad nerve pain across my scalp. I also get kind of electric shock kind of pain throughout my body. I get numbness and occasional paralysis, which thankfully has been temporary, but yeah, I've had paralysis in my foot before. There's loads of symptoms, honestly, I could go on all day. So yeah, it's certainly the reason why I have to eat a very limited diet really. However, I know that I'm quite fortunate in many ways, because I know that other people's experiences of FND can be really quite challenging. In some people it can affect their coordination or their mobility. In others it can affect their speech. So, you know, in the scheme of things, I do count my blessings really, but you know, my own version of FND does still come with its own challenges really. But yeah, I just wanted to give you kind of a little kind of background really, or a reason why I'm no longer vegetarian, and yeah, no longer, or certainly not at the moment, campaigning for vegan or vegetarian clay, because I just feel like I'm in a bit of an awkward position really, and I just hope that you can understand where I'm at with it really. And it's certainly not a position that I'd choose to be in. But until that I'm in a position where I can cut out meat again, I don't feel that I'm in a real sort of solid position to be able to promote the petition that I had. I'd still love all polymer clays to be vegan, however, because, you know, just because I'm not vegan or vegetarian at the moment, I'd still love to be able to sell artwork that's completely cruelty free to clients, really. You know, there's always people in a creative chain, really. If you're an artist, you've always got clients to think about. So yeah, it's just sad, isn't it? Yeah, maybe one day, who knows, but that's certainly where we stand at the moment. Yeah, today I'm going to be showing you how I've made some little autumn leaves. They're really, really basic because, you know, I've not been able to spend a lot of time in the studio, so they're not as perhaps ornate as I'd like them to be, but I just wanted to kind of have a go, really. So as a bit of inspiration, I grabbed some leaves on a walk outside, and have to say these are real beauties. I love the colours here. So I'm kind of limited with my KATO clay because I've only got a few colours in stock, because I tend to use Fimo Professional. I keep very limited reserves of other brands, really. But I've got some orange and some green here. So I'm going to do a skinner blend today, which is all about creating a gradient with 2 or more colours of polymer clay. I don't doubt it won't be very successful because, you know, I think the colours together are going to make some kind of murky tones, but, you know, for autumn leaves it seems fairly appropriate, really. It's just a shame I haven't got any yellow to hand, because I think that would really make it pop a bit more, but you know, it's just really an experiment today. I'm not expecting anything kind of miraculous, really. It's just all about being creative. So I need to make just some triangles of clay like so, and I'll probably do a kind of more in-depth kind of tutorial on the skinner blends technique at some point, but I'm sure there's absolutely loads on YouTube if you wanted to have a look around in the meantime. But it's a case of just lining them up like so. And then basically it's a case of putting them through the pasta roller a good few times, and I'm not going to put them through too many times today because I still want to have kind of streaks of colour here and there, so I don't need the gradient to be pristine. So they've come out pretty murky. So I'm just going to use my blade cutting tool here to create some very basic leaf shapes, like so. And with my needle tool, I need to create just some line or vein details, nice and simple, really. And I'm going to use my wavy tool here to create more of a jagged edge. And again, it's about keeping things kind of really simple today. And if you wanted to get into polymer clay jewellery making, this is quite a nice kind of easy project to get started with. So I'll just make another couple of leaves like so. And for this one, I'm going to make just a kind of 3-pronged leaf with the jagged edge tool. And if you wanted to make them into pendants, it's just a case of popping perhaps a ball tool through like so, just before they're baked. And I've just found this multi-block of KATO, which is pretty useful. There's some neutral tones in here, so with the lightest, which I think is white, I'm just going to put various colours through the pasta machine kind of randomly, really, so it creates more like a marbling effect. Because I think it's actually a bit more successful, really, than the semi-gradients that I made before. And here's some other attempts. So yeah, I think I kind of prefer this technique, because although they're still abstracts, they're kind of a little bit more reminiscent of autumn leaves really, because there's no kind of rhyme or reason to the colouring. They're just very often just a kind of mismatch of different colours really. So again, I'm just making a variety of different shapes and sizes. And the one thing that unites them all is just some vein details with my needle tool. So again, with my ball tool, I'm just going to pop a hole through, so it'll allow me to attach them to some wire or some string. And if you wanted to, you could bend your leaf like so before baking, but I think I'm going to leave mine fairly flat, just because I think it will give me more opportunity to do different stuff with them. So there they are, all ready to bake, and at this point you'll need to refer to your own brand of Polymer clay's baking instructions. And here they are. I'm pretty pleased with them. I think certainly I could have gone way further with the patterning on them, and I'd like to have seen more colour pops in them really, but again, I've been limited with the clay that I've had. So all in all, it's a fairly successful project, and I'll certainly be keen to revisit this at some point, maybe next autumn. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back really soon because we're just about to enter December, which means my content will no doubt be a lot more Christmassy over the next few weeks. So I'm hoping to bring you some new Christmassy tutorials. I've also been having a look at some tutorials that I did last year when I was trying to get my channel restarted. And some of them could certainly do with a remake actually, so yeah, I'll be doing a couple of remakes, but yeah, there'll be certainly quite a lot of brand new content for you as well, hopefully, if my nerve allows me. So yep, be sure to look out for those, so I'll see you soon. Bye bye.